How's it going, guys? Adam Mangiavani back here with another OnlineBookClub.org YouTube video, Facebook, YouTube, live, interview, whatever you want to call it. I actually have New York Times bestselling author Rachel Van Dyken on call today with me. She's such an accomplished author, has written over like 90-something books, has 50,000 reviews on some of those books and ratings on some of these websites. She has a movie coming out for one of her series. She's absolutely killing it. She's a New York Times bestselling author, Wall Street Journal bestselling author. She's killing it. So it is so nice of her to take the time out to talk to us. This is going to be a fun interview. How's it going, everyone? I am here with New York Times bestselling author Rachel Van Dyken. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us amidst all the Skype issues. We finally got this going. So thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No, me too. And okay, so I sent you over some of the questions I'm gonna ask you. So let's just jump right into it. You're obviously, I don't think we've talked to an author who's written as many books as you have. I went to your Goodreads and it was like 97 or something like that.
I think if you like include, like, I think some people like upload audio and stuff, but yeah, it's actually, honestly, this sounds horrible. I can't believe I'm even admitting this. I've actually lost track. To be completely honest, like, you know, at one point you're like, oh my gosh, I've written 10 books for 20 bucks, but I'm at that point now where it's just my life, and, you know, I love it so much, and I think the last count was like 64, but that was before, you know, new contracts this year, and, you know, a lot of us plan out 2 years in advance, so it's getting up there, man, but I love it, so it's exciting. No,
that's unbelievable, because I feel like if you talk to someone and you're like, yeah, I've written 100 books or whatever it is, you would think they'd be like, oh wow, that's nice, like a nice 70-year-old author, that's so great, they're older. And it's funny because I went to your FAQ and it's on there, so that means I'm sure this is a question you get all the time, but I'm baffled that you have, at such a young age in life, you've written that many books. Could you please tell me how you get this done with a son, with dogs and a husband? Like, I could barely, I don't have any kids or a wife, and I could barely finish the day. So please explain to me how you get this done.
You know, I think it just comes back to it being a passion of mine. You know, I got started writing when I was a school counselor. So, like, right out of college, I was like 21. Didn't really know what I wanted to do, knew I wanted to help kids, but, you know, was kind of stuck in the whole, like, I've always been a daydreamer, and so I started reading a lot, and that's how I helped my kids that I counseled. I would have them read books, and I found that it really helped them with their emotional states and things they were going through, and especially helped with anxiety. And then I started dealing with anxiety really bad, and so then I started writing as a way to kind of counteract that. And it became such a crazy passion that now if I have days where I'm not allowed to write, or like I can't at least get like an hour in, I get really, really anxious. So it's almost like this like need that, I don't know, like I will do anything in my power to write. Like people are always like, oh, I want a vacation, or I want to do this, and I'm like, writing is my vacation. Like it is like my blood. So it is such a passion for me that it's not really like, oh no, I have to write another book, or I'm on another deadline. And don't get me wrong, I do have those stressful times, but it's more joy than anything. So it's easy, you know what I mean? Because it's just, because I love it so much.
No, that's cool. So you not only get to do something that you love, obviously, but at the same time, I feel like that you're able to use it as an escape, because a lot of people, they look for other ways to escape from their daily lives, but your escape is your daily life. So, and of course, I'm sure the trials and tribulations of running a family and being a mother, I'm sure it takes its toll on you. So it's probably really cool that you could just say, you know what, okay, I just go to your writing space and kind of get going.
No, and that's exactly what I do. My husband is really good at being like, you need to go to Starbucks. Like, he doesn't, like, ask me if I want to go. He goes, go to Starbucks, or you need to go do this, or, you know, and he, like, shoves me away with my computer, and it's because he can tell, like, just in the way that I'm, like, reacting to him and to situations, and, you know what I mean? He's like, you're not your best self when you're not doing what you do best, so go get a coffee. I mean, it's funny, our conversations, man, I wish I could record him. He's always like, go get a coffee, go to Starbucks, go sit down, bring your headphones.
What a husband, though. He's got to win Husband of the Year, though. He's killing it.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's amazing. So today he's snowboarding though, so he does his own thing and I do my thing, and it kind of works out.
There you go. No, that's perfect though. And I feel like with I like to ask this question. I'm sorry, I'm going so off path of what I sent you, but it's just where it's going. So So when it comes to your husband and writing, like obviously I'm sure you've done it for a very long time, but it seems like you guys kind of have that down where he knows you have to have your writing time. And is it ever stressful to kind of balance your family life and your writing life, or do you really have that down pat at this point?
I wish I could say I'm like, oh, I got this down, and I probably surprise people, and I'm like, I really have nothing together, like I'm a hot mess, but because you think you're like, you're writing for 10 years, it should be, like this is what you do, but it's hard sometimes. I think with the family, there's and I know like a lot of people would associate with this, especially if you work from home and stuff. There's a lot of shaming and guilt that comes into working from home because you never shut anything off. And so, like, especially for me, like, my New Year's resolution this year, which I hate even making them, but this year I was like, I just want to be present. Like, I don't want to be the person that's constantly, being like, oh, look, my agent just emailed me, just one more phone call, to my publicist, one more of this, one more of that. Or, when my son is trying to take my phone away from me, which he does do now. So I know it's a bad habit. I know it's not good that I have my phone in my hands and I'm constantly answering. And kind of like the way I started out with my whole branding and with, being an author was I wanted to be present with my readers. Like I wanted to be able to interact with them. I want to make sure they know that they're tweeting me. They're not tweeting some random PA out there just trying to answer them. And that, when I'm on Facebook, it's actually me responding and every email is me personally responding. But, that gets, after 10 years and that many books, it does get kind of hectic. I yesterday was not complaining, but I was like having a stressful day because I was like, I just spent 6 hours responding to emails.
Wow.
And I didn't get any writing in, and that's totally fine. Like, I don't mind at all. I love it. But it's just that part that I'm like, that work-life balance is very difficult for me because my desire is to be present for everyone, but you can't do that. You have to. So I've really started to slow down, at least this year, and being like, you know what? It's the weekend. It's Sunday. I'm not going to answer those 500 emails. Like, no, they're going to be there tomorrow, and that's what my husband really helps me with. He's like, are they going to be there tomorrow? And I'm like, yes. Wow. So it's been a challenge for me, especially. I mean, we're in January, right? So it's been like a couple weeks.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, though.
Hard.
No, you got to start somewhere. That's a perfect balance because you're right. When you're so passionate about something that you do, you could almost get lost and you're like, okay. And especially like you said, I also work from home, so I understand completely what you're talking about. You always have your email and you always have your computer. You can't just walk away because you're in your house doing what you do. So I completely understand where you're coming from there. And you've at this point in your career have seen a lot of success. So you do have a lot of people who are very interested in not only your writing but you as a person and your life outside of your writing. So I'm sure you almost feel like it's your duty to continuously connect with them. But at the same time, you're human. You need to take time and you need to take a step back and enjoy your life and enjoy your family, which it seems like as I agree with you with New Year's resolutions, but it is good to kind of set that goal for the year. So I think you're doing it right, and of course you're going to have bumps along the way, but I think you're doing it right. Based on the fact that you're #1 New York Times bestseller, I think that we could both agree that you're doing something right.
Hopefully. Oh man, yeah, hopefully.
No, for sure. So obviously you didn't wake up one morning and you turned into this awesome writer. So where did it all begin? Like, did you write at a young age? Did you read first and then start writing? Like, how did it go?
I was with a kid that would look underneath the sink for like a hidden door or a passageway, like a different world or dimension. Like that was like I know that sounds really crazy. Like I look back on it and I laugh at myself, but I was always playing like pretend princesses. I was always the prince though. Like my sister loved to be like Cinderella, and I was like the evil prince that would like come try to take her away. Like I was always the evil stepmother. Like I never got to be like the really pretty princess that gets rescued. I was always like the bad person. So maybe, and I would like joke with her because we both write now, and I'm like, maybe that's why like I had to create my own happily ever after.
There you go.
I never got the kids. I never got kissed in the end.
You were always the one like destroying the lives of the person who was getting kissed.
I was ruining lives.
There you go.
So I, as a kid I was like that, and then as obviously you get older and you get into college, like reading. I, loved reading romance and stuff, but, when you're in college, it's like, oh, man, like, you have to read what they want you to read. So, upon graduating, that really did become my escape, especially with the kids that I was with, because I worked also for the state as a PSR worker, which basically means, like, you go around and you help rehabilitate kids that have a lot of pretty serious mental disorders. And a lot of them are, like, social anxiety and, schizophrenia and, like, a whole bunch of other things that are, tough when you're a kid. And so I would just take them to the library and read and go over stuff, and then that's how I kind of found my love and fell back in love with reading. And then I was like, hey, I'm going to do this. And I know that sounds so lame, but I just decided I'm going to start writing. And my first book was horrific, actually. And I was like, why doesn't anyone want to buy this? It's so weird. Didn't know what I did never even use chapter headings. Like my poor editors when they first met me were probably like, what is this lady doing? Because I would send like 300 pages with no chapter
like
and
that.
so, I wasn't the best. And now looking back, if anyone ever buys those other books, I'm always like, oh my gosh, please don't judge me based on this book. Like, please read this one instead. This one's way better. But it's good to know that it's good to see that progress as a writer.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and I understand completely like what you're saying, because you're not gonna just start out being this phenomenal writer. You gotta kind of learn along the way and guess and check what works and what doesn't. But I do like what you said about your style, and that you don't write in this prim and proper way. And when I was younger, I used to judge TV shows for this, because nobody ever like stuttered or had a run-on sentence. They always just had, everything was perfect. The dialogue was absolutely perfect. So I'm like, I think it's cool that you kind of make it realistic, and because not everything's perfect in normal life.
No, it's not, and I think too, and that kind of translates, going into making a movie and the screenplay and stuff. I don't want it to translate over to where if someone speaks those lines out loud, they sound funny.
Yes.
And so I'm always really careful that whenever I'm very, very dialogue heavy in my books, and whenever I do dialogue, I'm always very careful in how I make it snappy and, fast and back and forth. And so my biggest pet peeve is that, though. And even, too, on TV and movies, I'm always like, that's not real. People don't act that way. They don't say that.
Exactly. No, but it's great that you picked up on that, because, and of course, I'm a big book nerd, so I have read a lot of books, and some of the dialogue, you're like, come on. Like, come on. Like, right. And of course, these are books that are written to entertain people, so you can't always be extremely realistic. But it is nice when you at least make the dialogue kind of make sense, and make it seem like it flows like a normal everyday conversation. So that's awesome that you're able to do that. And I'm sure if you didn't write so many books and start at such a young age and right after college, you might have not gotten to that point. So everything happens for a reason.
Oh, it totally does. Every situation in your life is a stepping stone to something bigger and greater, even if it's something that's painful. So I fully believe that.
No, for sure. So you did mention the Wingman Inc. series is being turned into a movie. Okay, so you got it. That honestly had to be one of the coolest moments of your life when you got that call. Please tell me about that process.
Oh man, it was so, honestly, it's every author, your dream is like, I want a list, or I want to be able to find my book in a store, or I want, there's all these different steps, and I've always wanted to be able to see my books on the screen. And we've had interest in other series and stuff, but everything, which is often true, everything just falls through, and then you get your hopes up for no reason. So this is one of those situations that I was like, do I get my hopes up and get excited and run around the house, or do I calm myself down and try to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Tosca and Gina and Joni, the rest of the crew, they were so great, and how they even reached out to my agent, reached out to me, and I think I was one of the first 5 books that they contracted. And their whole concept behind Passion Flicks, where it's like a place that people can go just to watch romance movies, but also to go and see original content, is such a cool concept. And they're basically tapping into all of our followers, which just makes some, marketing wise, I'm like, oh, that's brilliant, good idea. So it was just a really cool concept from the start, and so that in and of itself, it totally won me over, when they asked about the rights and everything. And then of course, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. It's a lot of, hey, okay, sign the contracts that come, a month later, and everyone's lawyers have to look over it, and everything has to be happy. And then it's like, when do we start shooting? Oh, another year from now.
Yeah.
It feels like it just, and they almost didn't do the production this year. They were going to have to push it back.
Wow.
And I was so disappointed, because I was supposed to be the 4th one they were going to do. And so I was so excited.
Wow.
And then they called and said, hey, it's not going to happen. We're going to wait till January. And then about a week after that phone call, they called again, and they were like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
Wow.
So talk about suddenly, thankfully the script was done, and everything was ready to go, but we had to cast people. We had, I say they had to do all the hard work, and I got to sit there and watch them do all the hard work.
Hey, but it's your book, so without your book, there'd be no hard work.
Right, it's true. So it was so cool seeing the whole process. I got to fly down there. I flew down there twice in December, during a very stressful time, of course, the holidays.
Of course.
And flew down there twice and got to be on set, and just, seeing everything brought to life is crazy. Seeing hundreds of people literally on set, and knowing that the only reason they're there is to do something that you wrote is pretty
That's
humbling
cool. That
experience.
is cool.
Yeah.
It's in that I feel like when of course you read these books and you watch these movies, for the reader it's like, wow, the whole world is being brought to life. When I went to Harry Potter World in Orlando, I was like, oh my god, this is Hogwarts being brought to life. And so, but I can't imagine creating these characters and then seeing real people play these characters in front of you. Like, that must have been kind of almost like an out-of-body experience.
Oh, it totally is. I think I was in shock for the first 3 days, to be honest, because you're on set for 12 hours, you know, each day, and they're really long days. And I remember just going back to my hotel after that first day, being like, I am sitting. I remember, like, I ordered a drink, and I'm like, I am sitting at a bar in a hotel in LA. 12 hours later, after watching my, the first day of filming, like, what is happening? Like, what is this life?
Yes.
Like, watching the Seahawks game, what is this life? No, it was like so cool to be there. So it was just, and I'm still pinching myself. I'm still so thankful.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that they took a chance on me, and I'm so excited to see the movie this spring.
That's amazing. And so I actually looked it up, and it said it. I wasn't sure if the website was right, but based on what you said, I'm sure it was, that it was filming in December. Did it wrap at this point? Like, is it fully done?
Yeah, it wrapped. Man, we shot it so fast. Tosca shot it really fast. It was crazy. That's why they were such long days, because they were trying to fit it in before everyone left for the holidays, you know, because people have plans and people, wanted to go home for Christmas. And so, they wrapped filming in December right before Christmas. And she's editing it. They're editing it right now, putting everything together, adding music. We're on track to release, I believe, still in March 2018, but I'm not sure what the date is yet, just because we have to be sure, obviously, before we tell people. So I'll be the first person, hopefully, to know, and I'll be able to announce it to people. But yeah, we're still on track for it to be pretty soon.
Wow, that's such. See, and of course I know you're releasing books this year, because like you said, you plan 2 years in advance. But with you, I'm sure it's a lot more than most writers. So you have all these books you're releasing, all these different series, and then you have a movie coming out based on one of your series. So I feel like 2018 is going to be a relatively busy year for you.
Oh my goodness, really, really busy. And I always tend to kind of screw myself over, because I'm like, when I get asked to go to signings, it's like 2 years in advance, right? So I'm like, I'm totally free that May, but I'm not free because I just don't write it down. And then I'm like, oh crap, I had like 7 signings in 7 weeks. So, but this year I did way better. This year I only have like 6 in like 3 months, so it's not that bad.
So not 7 in 7 weeks, but like 6 in like 12 weeks. So you're improving, but you're still going to be very busy.
Right, by a couple of weeks at a time.
There you go.
Deadline. So yeah, this year is going to be kind of crazy. I actually just talked to one of my assistants, and she's like, you have like 3 books due, and I'm like, no, we don't. Let's not talk about it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
But Rachel, so you obviously have a lot coming up. If whoever's listening, and when we post this on YouTube, if anyone wants to find Rachel, please tell us your social media. We'll link everything. You go to her book signing. She has a bunch of books being released. And, of course, the movie. I'm sure you'll be tweeting and posting about that on Facebook and Instagram. So, Rachel, where can everyone find you?
They can find me at, just go to my website, RachelVanDykenAuthor.com.
Perfect.
It's, as you see it, spelled perfectly.
Yep.
And I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at RachVD.
Cool.
So, or you can find me on Facebook, which I'm everywhere on Facebook. You just type in my name and find me, and great. I will respond to you, as you said. No,
of course. And Rachel, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure to talk to you, and you're someone who's very kind, and you've obviously worked extremely hard. You deserve all the success you had, and I wish you nothing but the best. And hopefully, you know what, I'm sure you'll have a bunch of releases. We'd love to get you back on the show in the future. But once again, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. It was such a pleasure, and it was so fun getting to talk to you. And anytime, Adam, you just hit me up, and I will be here.
Thank you so much, Rachel, and good luck with everything, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
No problem. Bye-bye. It was such a fun interview. Rachel's a great person to talk to. She has so much energy, but she's also so hardworking. It's really cool to talk to someone who's accomplished so much, but it's still such a nice person and works just as hard as they did when they started. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Rachel. She was a blast to talk to. Seriously, such a hardworking, nice person. She's also, I'm really excited to watch the movie, because it is cool to think about how, as an author, you bring something to life. If you enjoyed that video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos every single Thursday. Last week's Users of the Week were you. Thank you so much for all you do. I truly appreciate your support. If you want to be next week's User of the Week, tell me, hey, who do you want to see us talk to next? You know, we're no one's off limits anymore. We're going for everyone, every author out there. and I'll see you guys next Thursday.